and welcome to Movie Couple Live. This is a show where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. So happy you are all hanging out with us today for a very relaxed live stream. We have so much to talk about today. We've seen the first 15 minutes of Army of the Dead.
There's also more casting announcements for Knives Out 2.
And would you eat a Cheez-It Cake? We're going to talk about all this and more on today's show. You guys, welcome. Thank you all for being here with us. We already have a super chat popping in right off the bat, which we're going to get to in 2 seconds. But before we do, we're going to go ahead and just a little announcement corner here for the show. So as you guys probably saw this morning, and also if you've been watching our live streams a lot, Dustin and I are basically obsessed with the Shadow and Bone show that is now airing on Netflix. So we did a spoiler review kind of talking about the entire season. Do I even call it a season?
Yeah, because I'm hoping we better be talking about the season because there better be a season 2.
So we'll stay with that. We'll do a simulu and put it out there that we want a season 2. So it is a review for the whole show. So if you have not finished the show, maybe not watch that video just yet so you don't get anything spoiled for you, but that is up on the channel. And we also have another Movie Couple Eats or a vlog. I haven't decided. It would probably be more of a Movie Couple Eats coming up, probably releasing, I'm hoping for Monday, but we'll see, because like when I say I want to edit something and then I take forever and then you guys don't see it for 2 weeks, so there is that. Also, we did I don't know if I announced it here on Wednesday, I can't remember, but there is a our favorite moments from WandaVision video that is finally up. It should have been up like over a month ago, but I just took my sweet time on that. But that is up on the channel for you guys all to check out if you haven't already. And Jack says, I've seen Shadow and Bone 3 times now. It is worth
I can
a rewatch.
understand why, because it's such a great show. I love the characters. I love the story. It's just very intriguing, and I can't wait for them to make more.
And Debbie also saying that she would eat the Cheez-It Cake. So we will talk about that as well in just a little bit. First, we're going to go ahead and get to Marvin's super chat. Thank you so much, Marvin,
Thanks,
for always
Marvin.
supporting the channel. And you guys, just if you ever wonder where the money goes for all of your like donations, whether it's via Streamlabs, which I don't even think I have a link up below this video, or super chat, it goes right back into the channel, better equipment or buying updated editing software or whatever it may be to help supplement the channel. So that's where all your super chats go.
Thank you so much for helping us.
And a song recommendation by Marvin.
Ooh.
Marvin writes, song Raven or Raven? Is it Raven or Raven?
Probably Raven.
Raven Soul by Joanna Bokia, Aiken Kana Lang, and Panangip by Morissette Among. And Marvin, next time I need names that I can pronounce correctly. I'm having so much anxiety because I feel like I'm pronouncing all of it incorrectly.
Completely understandable. If I tried to read these names, they would probably be even more butchered.
I should have just put it up. I should have just done that from the get-go. Duh. There you go. And there you have it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a photo like I do. There was a song in the Shang-Chi trailer that reminded me a lot of the oh gosh, what's that place that they went to
in Falcon and Winter Soldier?
What is it? Nope.
Great. Now I can't remember it either.
Oh God.
But yeah, it has that same kind of vibe, and I really think that it also works really well for trailers. But I know as soon as we went to that one place in Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Madripoor. Thank you
so much.
God.
On there,
pour something.
Many porgs.
Many porgs.
That is a completely different city altogether, and I think that would be really cute.
You're just you're just surrounded by porgs.
And you have like porgs working different shops and trying to sell things and trying to make things on the street.
The math is wrong. You give them $100, they give $200 back to you.
That's where you want to go.
The city operates on a deficit. Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. So let's see. Sean, thank you so much for stopping by. Sean says, how's it going? I am going off to work now, buying some groceries. Nice. I just did groceries the other day. And then we don't need to do it for a little while because Blade has like stocked our pantry. So, and I'm so happy because I opened the pantry the other day. I was like, I just want like a morsel of something. What do I want? I saw the jerkies. I'm like,
Oh,
yes,
the jerkies that Blade has sent us is
so
amazing.
good. And Blade says Wendy has inadvertently summoned Cthulhu.
You're like, what is this? What are the names? What are the words? And you accidentally, yeah, you just have like
A beholder comes up, eyes and tentacles and all that stuff. Oh my gosh, so good,
Oh, and Jack, the cookies are delicious
so
too.
good.
I mean, we've only just begun to dig into them,
Yes.
but unfortunately, we now have a stash of cookies.
Yeah, so I'm not when we go grocery shopping again for like raw foods like steaks and like protein and things like that. We're definitely not going to wander down the snack aisle,
Don't
which is
need
great.
to.
It'll save us money because that's I feel like where I really go nuts. Like those, like what's the
We
shopping like
always have to
grocery
get
store
chips.
show? I'm always like this whole aisle right here into the
Snacks.
cart. Cereal aisle goes into the cart. Oh, we tried the tres leches
Oh
cereal.
yeah.
It's really good. It is a bit sweeter than what I was expecting. I don't know why I was expecting it to be less sweet just because it's a cereal. Tres leches is like really sweet. So
Mm-hmm.
but in all the best way possible. And plus then we had it with like a little bit of morning coffee, so it kind of balanced out the sweetness, and that meant we got to put less coffee in our sugar, which is probably always better. So there is that. Should we go ahead and go on to our very first topic?
I think we shall.
All right. So in today's news flash, and I feel like maybe a couple of you guys may have seen this in theaters already because I believe they actually put this in theaters. But we're going to talk about the first 15 minutes of Zack Snyder's The Army of the Dead. I was at home and I watched it during the live. You were at work, so you watched it
Yeah,
when
so
you
I
came
wasn't able to
home.
watch it on the live broadcast.
But man, first 15 minutes. First of all, this is definitely rated Ma for mature. If you're not okay with various exposed body parts, if you're not okay with
blood splatter
blood
from the neck.
splatters and that kind of stuff, this you might want to think about, think about that before you go ahead and dive into this movie. But honestly, the first 15 minutes was just a big ball of fun for me. I just feel like the actors had a good time, the director had a good time. This is the story they're trying to tell, and these zombies are pretty insane. They're not your normal Walking Dead dragging one foot, slow moving kind of a zombie. These are like Train to Busan, full
Yeah.
out run slightly, and I would say also a
Tear
touch.
through an army of through
Yeah,
an entire army of Marines, kind of a thing.
and I would also say that I feel like they have a little bit more of intelligence than Train to Busan
Yeah.
zombies, because the alpha zombie, as I'm calling it for now, I'm just coining the term. I don't think it's an official term at all, but it seems to acknowledge what he is doing, and he is that's why he was in the payload and by himself to be isolated. And I don't like, why not just kill it if it was in the payload? Like just drop
Maybe
some
you
like
can't. Maybe that's the
indestructible
whole.
zombies so
He's
that.
an indestructible zombie. Maybe he'll start to like heal himself, kind of a
Ooh,
thing.
gross.
But we don't know because we haven't seen it yet.
Who knows, and we're not going to spoil anything, but Jim knows. Jim's with the super chat coming through. Thank you so
Woo!
much, Jim. Jim says, saw Army of the Dead last night in theaters. It delivered. Well worth seeing it on the big screen.
And and that's something that we really got from the 15 minutes. It really did set the mood of just going in there for an awesome zombie apocalypse, carnage and fun kind of a thing. It's one of those movies that seriously doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah, it's very aware that it is a zombie movie. I don't want to call it cheesy because it's really not cheesy, but it definitely has those moments that's a little bit more tongue in cheek. But if you're aware of it, and the filmmakers and the actors are aware of it, and like you have to be aware of what kind of movie you're in, and I think they all understand. So there are some of the serious moments that they play up to be serious, and then there are moments that are kind of like a dark comedy, and they can play up that part too, especially pairing the first 15 minutes, like the zombie outbreak, if you will, in Vegas with the Viva Las Vegas song. I thought was kind of perfect, to be honest with you guys.
I'm gonna say, what is it? I think Jack asked, "Is it dark?"
Did
did it look dark? Honestly, I'm thinking that because Las Vegas is very bright, very colorful, so it's gonna be very dark comedy, to where you're laughing at other people's kind of like mistakes and misfortunes, kind of a thing. But I mean, with Dave Bautista in there, with the way that they had this intro to where it was very kind of a series of unfortunate events kind of a thing. I think it's gonna be very dark comedy-esque. So I actually cannot wait to see this.
Yeah, it's in theaters now, but so if you choose to, if you feel safe, if theaters are open, then you can go and see it in theaters now. And then next weekend, the 21st, is actually going to hit Netflix, which is what we're going to be doing next weekend on the 21st. So we look forward to that, and it'll probably be a review for the movie once we watch it. Thank you so much, Jim, for letting us know that it looks great in, on the big screen. We haven't been inside a theater in so long, and I don't even know how I'm going to be feeling when I get to go back into the movie theater.
Yeah.
Like, am I gonna cry? Am I gonna laugh? Am I just gonna am I
Am
gonna
I
be
gonna be
indifferent?
awkward?
I'll probably be awkward. Dustin said, but
However,
speaking of seeing movies on the big screen, Movie Bunch, Debbie says she saw the In the Heights on the big screen, which is definitely a film I really, really,
wait, no, she
really want
wants to see.
No, she saw it.
Oh, she did.
She says saw In the Heights on the big
Oh.
screen. So worth it. I think there was like a Mother's Day, like one day only at early showing. That you can do, but we had other plans for Mother's Day, so we didn't opt for that option. But Debbie, I'm so glad you saw it, and you know what? I love hearing all the positive reviews. Like, multiple friends of mine, including Debbie, have seen it in theaters on Mother's Day, and they all really enjoyed it. They're saying the choreography, the cinematography, the music, and everything just is perfect. So I can't wait to see that in theaters. Yes, Jim, totally agree with you too. Jim saying fully vaccinated but still wore my mask. Yeah.
And that's probably what we'll do when we go. I mean, we'll probably still have our mask on, but anytime we want to have popcorn, we go.
Did you see that TikTok? That one lady, she's sitting at a bar indoors, it looked like, and the ladies next to her had their masks on, and maybe it's an outdoor bar, just looked a little maybe like shady area, so maybe think it was inside. Regardless of that, she's got her plate of food and she's got a fork, and the two ladies are kind of like offset her, like in the background, and she goes to eat and she hadn't taken off her mask, and her fork's getting closer and closer to her mouth. I'm going, how is she? And she goes, like,
around.
and her mask is actually like in like it's a paper mask, and she constructed in two. So it's an upper piece and a lower piece, and it moved with her. And the ladies behind her were just kind of like, how did that happen?
That's the way to do it.
Oh,
to have just like, yeah, the overlapping. So
gosh.
when you go,
Yum,
kind of like the
yum.
Chewbacca mask, you know?
Yeah. That same mechanism.
I think that'd be funny too, is if you had the mask and when you open up your mouth, it actually goes, nom nom.
Nice.
Kind of like a Cookie Monster sound.
I want to shout out one of the comments right now. This is from Hello What 890. I'm one of your new Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. And also the one who emailed you about my sci-fi novel. So I just want to say oh wait, hold on. I got to look it up, because during the pandemic, I feel like we all had to kind of pivot and figure out either a way to cope with the fact that we're like staying home in a pandemic, as like I would say for the most of us have never lived through a pandemic in our lives before,
unless you're over 100 years old,
which is like not many people at this point. But our new patron supporter, I gotta find it. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 2 seconds and I will find it.
Oh yeah, wasn't it? I think you told me about that. And
yeah.
And it was
Wait. Okay, here
sorry,
it is.
I won't spoil it. It's all yours.
So the basically he wrote a book during the pandemic, self-published. It is now available. The book is called the book is I'm looking
Which
down
I
the
have
email.
to admit is amazing. Anyone who's able to actually have the discipline to sit down and write an entire book.
Yes.
I've always admired people who are really good writers, because me personally, that's something that I really struggle with. And just to be able to sit down and write an entire novel, and then to self-publish it, and then to do, I mean, it's incredible.
Like I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like I have so much anxiety writing one article where like I'm stressing out the whole time. Like, is this okay? Is my thoughts coming in through clearly to the writers? And then like kind of halfway through, I'm kind of like, what's it called? not like my brain just overloads and it like blows up and I don't know what I'm trying to write anymore and I have to just like take a couple of like an hour off and just like not stare at it. But the book is called The Human Inside, so just go ahead and search that and you can get it hard copy, you can get it hard cover, soft cover, or ebook, which is the route I'm probably going to go because I don't have any more room for physical books. I actually inherited 2 cookbooks
Oh
over
yeah,
Mother's
that's
Day
right.
weekend. I wanted more, but I was like, maybe I shouldn't. So I picked one skinnier one that I know I would use a lot, and then another one that would it will look nice on the shelf, and I can like take it out every now and again because it's more like appetizers and hors d'oeuvres type of deal. So
And do you happen to have the link to that,
yeah,
or?
but I have to find it on this and then
Oh,
copy it. So what I will do is I'll put it in the link of the description of this video after the live stream. Cuz like how long did it take me to just look
just
that up?
find it on
But the
there.
book is called The Human Inside by the author YT Chen. So if you want to look that up, I think that's really really
Congratulations, dude.
awesome.
That is
Congrats.
amazing. I'm so excited that you were able to write that, and I can't wait to dive into it.
Yeah, same.
Oh,
So, oh,
Navi.
Navi, my goodness.
Sometimes I completely forget that you are down there, and then you're just like, Daddy, give me loves. Even Navi is excited to read this book.
Navi's going to read the book. She'll chew my ebook. Oh, I can put it in Discord. Okay. Or I think Hello What 890 can probably just put it in the
Put it in the chat,
yeah,
dude.
put it in the chat. Go ahead and put it in the chat so everybody can click on it, and then one of our awesome movie bunch will probably go ahead and copy that into the Discord. Thank you so much. And the book is available on Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, and Google. So basically Google it and follow the links to it. You will find it. The Human
And
Inside is the title.
where would be the best place to buy it for you, kind of a
Yeah,
thing?
let us know in the chat. Hello, what? Just gonna guide us if you have a preferred like publisher. Like whether it's Amazon or
Because
whatever
I
it
don't
may
know
be.
which one takes. I'm pretty sure there are different publishers that are like, oh, we'll take this percent, we take a bigger percent, we take a smaller percent. Probably Amazon is the one that. I'm just guessing that Amazon's the
Yes.
one that takes the biggest chunk.
Yeah. So according to him, the publisher's direct link is what gives him the most royalty. So
Go to
I would
that
say
one.
follow that one. This is again self-published. It's a sci-fi action adventure book called The Human Inside. Which when I read the synopsis, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and move on to our next segment in the news. Are we done with talking about Army of the Dead? Sorry, I got distracted.
Oh, well, one thing that I did want to say is that it really still kind of has that Zack Snyder 300 kind of a vibe, to where he did
The
a really good
filter type
job.
of
The filter, and it made it look very comic book-esque kind of a thing. So I'm excited to go into the theaters and just have a fun time with this movie. And I really there were a lot of things when I watched the 15 minutes beginning of it, to where you really don't want to think too hard about certain series of events. Just go in there and have fun with the movie, so that you will. I mean, I think
just
that's
go in and have a good time and enjoy.
yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah, don't think too hard about plot points and this and that. What I also liked is the way they introduced our, I guess, core cast in the first 15 minutes, because they did it kind of via a vignette, which I thought was pretty cool, very different, where they were holding up like their previous job, or maybe their everyday life persona in a picture portrait, like in a portrait in a picture frame, but then the background is like, zombie apocalypse and annihilation behind them, which was like a nice little juxtaposition of what is shown in the photo that they were holding, I guess, their life pre-zombies. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's go ahead and move on to our next bit of newsflash. So you guys, that is not it. I'm so sorry. It is this one. So Snake Eyes, you guys, we have the very first poster for Snake Eyes. This is the origin story. So the title is called Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe origin, stars Henry Golding. We've got a couple of, this is, first of all, the poster right here,
which looks incredibly
I love the neon
awesome. Yeah,
lights popping in the back there. And I think online, if you want to look for it on Twitter or social media, I think there's like a motion one where the post, you know how the poster kind of moves and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So I love when they do that. It makes it look really really cool. And also a couple more photos of Henry Golding as our title hero Snake Eyes right here with the katana. Very most often we don't get to see Snake Eyes with the helmet off.
Yeah.
But seeing that this is a origin story, I do that they're, going this way with, seeing well his origin. So naturally you probably see the face before the helmet or the mask goes on. Is it called the helmet or is it called a mask?
I think it's more of a mask that he wears,
Yeah,
because that's what actually would be more adorned for like a ninja.
this is true.
But I'm just excited to see some amazing martial arts. I love Henry Golding. I think he has a really good charisma
Very
that comes
charming.
very charming that comes off on screen, and I'm really excited to see how he tackles Snake Eyes.
Yes, and you guys know that Snake Eyes, we've seen him in obviously the cartoon way back
Hmm.
when. We've seen him, I believe, comic books and also previous movies. But this movie, I believe they're kind of taking a little bit of liberty with his origin story. So, according to articles online, it looks like Paramount, MGM, Skydance are taking a unique approach with the film, and this is kind of the tagline or the synopsis for the film. Quote. Upon arrival in Japan, the Arashikage teach Snake Eyes the ways of the ninja warrior while also providing something he's been looking for, a home. But when secrets from his past are revealed, Snake Eyes honor and allegiance will be tested, even if it means losing the trust of those closest to him. Ooh. So
I
go
do
ahead.
like the fact though that they just say Snake Eyes. They don't give him any other name, because
Yeah, like
I'm
what?
really curious on
What's
if
his
they're
name?
going to give him a name, if they're actually going to be, oh, this is the name of the character, and then he takes on the mantle or the name of Snake
It
Eyes.
must be right. Like you can't just, even if you're looking for a home, so you don't have like you feel like you can't get close to. I mean, we don't know. We haven't seen the film, but
Maybe his
there's
parents just named him Snake Eyes, and they were really, really cruel parents.
wow.
Of course, I think that would be kind of a cool name. And when you're in elementary school, and Snake Eyes?
Snake Eyes, snake eyes, comma snake. Oh, actually, it would be around the other way around, right? Snake,
Eyes,
sn- eyes,
eyes, snake.
eyes, comma, yeah, like L, comma, Woods.
Hmm.
Or Woods, comma, L. Sorry, I'm saying that backwards. Anyways, the cast includes obviously Henry Golding as Snake Eyes, Andrew Koji as Storm Shadow, Ursula Quibero, I hope I'm saying that right, as Baroness. We have Samara Weaving as Scarlet, and Haruka Abe as Akiko. And we have a couple of more photos of this is Scarlet right here. She looks more. Is she red hair in this one a little
Yeah,
bit? Yeah. Okay.
that's very,
More
yeah.
natural than like the
Yeah.
cartoony red,
Well,
red, red.
I also really hope that one is that it seems like they are planning for this to be a big series. This is the start of their cinematic GI Joe universe.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going. I'm hoping that they have it planned out and structured to be like, okay, these characters are going to be introduced in this one. These characters are going to be introduced in the next one. So we're going to have a series of GI Joe origins, maybe,
Maybe.
and then we get like the GI Joe movie, to
I can
where
certainly
that's
see.
kind of like the Avengers moment.
Correct. I can certainly see them doing an origin for now Snake Eyes, maybe one for Baroness, maybe one for Scarlet. Here is Akiko if you want to take a look. And of course, I saved this one for last because I am just simply obsessed with Andrew Koji. If you watch Warrior, you know. So he will be playing Storm Shadow in the upcoming movie, which is very, very exciting. And you guys, the trailer drops during the MTV Music Awards. I think they're kind of like doing like a slash in there, like it's kind of both because apparently
People's Choice Awards or something? Oh,
no,
no,
that's
that's something.
completely
Oh,
different. Yeah,
it's
completely different.
MTV's. Oh yeah, it's
Movie
movie
awards. It used
awards.
to be just movie, but now it's like movie and music because the Agatha All Along song has been nominated for best musical moment in TV or something like that. It's a little weird. I don't know. So that trailer will be out tomorrow. That's when the award is, and then Henry Golding's been tweeting that it's going to be at 9 p.m. I don't know if it's 9 p.m. ET or 9 p.m. PT. So I'll probably start watching the interwebs for the trailer drop around 6 p.m. just in case it is 9 p.m. ET, which would be 6 p.m. for us, vice versa. Yeah, there's no way, right? If they drop it at 9 p.m. ET, because that's oh, No, 9 p.m. PT because that's midnight for East Coast. So
Oh
that
yeah, that'd be way too
kind of
late.
wouldn't make sense. Thank you, Debbie. Debbie clarified it for us. Movie and TV awards, which makes sense. Put them all
Thank you very
together.
much.
Yeah, put them all together. Did I miss any other? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh no, the next
This
one's
one.
Chris's. Christmas. Chris.
Wow.
Blah, blah, blah. I can't talk
Try that
today.
again.
I was gonna try to say Chris's choice, but then I was like, no. Say Chris, just say his name, Christopher Mendez, kind of a thing. But then in my mouth just was like, nope, sorry, not gonna help you.
We have a super chat from Chris's Choice. Chris writes, thank you so much, Chris. Following the whole Injustice storyline with Superman turning evil, instead of a DC character, though, which MCU hero would you hire to take him on? To take on Superman?
That's a really tough
To
one because
take
I'm
on
trying to think of because I
Superman?
know when DC and Marvel did their mashup before, I think it was Thor that took on Superman, and also they've already done Hulk taking on Superman. I think you would actually probably need Sentinel to take on Superman because in the MCU, Sentinel is, excuse me, one of the most powerful overall, just generically raw power superheroes. And to take on someone like Superman, you need someone just with raw, relentless power. Even though I think, what is it called? Thor would have a good chance against him
I was
because
thinking
Superman
Thor.
has a vulnerability to magic.
Superman, not just kryptonite?
Not just kryptonite. Well,
magic as
in
well?
like magic does actually hurt him pretty much. It does cause some serious damage. That's why Shazam was actually a pretty good matchup.
But that's DC.
Yeah.
So we can't have
I
that.
wonder how Doctor Strange would
Sorcerer
go up against. So you would have like ultimate magic.
Why not just put
going up
Scarlet
against
Witch
Superman.
on there then?
Or Scarlet Witch, yeah.
Scarlet Witch or Captain Marvel, maybe. But Captain Marvel doesn't have magical.
No, hers
So
are
we
based
wanna
in
think-
science.
So our picks would be giving you multiple answers here: Thor, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, and Captain Marvel. I'm trying to think of any other ones. I want to see if the chat has any suggestions.
That would be something interesting too. If Scarlet Witch went up against Superman and she has that what is that called? That reality altering magic. Could she just be like, oh, I create kryptonite, or I'm sorry, you are now encased in a box of kryptonite.
Correct.
Kind of thing. Could she actually use that to her advantage?
Ouch, that would
Could
hurt
she
him
just
bad.
have like spears of kryptonite all of a sudden just stab into him?
Yeah.
But then again, she would have to know that kryptonite was his weakness. So
But why wouldn't she know if she's got,
reality altering powers?
Nick Fury working with her. Are you talking about Marvel? Sorry, you're talking about Captain Marvel? You're talking about somebody else?
No. Scarlet Witch going up against Superman.
Sorry, my mind was stuck on Captain Marvel. I mean, she could know if she's got if she can research.
Yeah.
Her knowledge. I feel like that's something Jack says was Agatha all along. Agatha. Maybe let's just have Agatha. Let's have Mephisto take on Superman. That would be super funny. Hello, what 890. Thank you so much for your super chat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming by the stream. And I don't know, you guys go check out the book.
Century. Sorry. No, I thought it was No, that would make sense. It's Century and not Sentinel because Sentinels are the robots in the MCU, in the Marvel cinema, in the Marvel comics. So Century. Thank you, Vanja.
Thank you, Vanja. So let's see. Captain Marvel. I see Captain Marvel. Maybe Hyperion.
Ooh.
Says Blade.
That would be a good fight.
Yeah, or Omega level mutants like Legion or Summer or Hope. Hope Summers.
Well, yeah, because that would be interesting.
X-Men.
Because Hope would just be able to copy Superman's powers. So that might actually work.
Wow.
Because then she could match up with him and still have the ability to use other powers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we ever get, an MCU, DCEU crossover mashup, I think there is definitely a lot of options to play with here and just have like Justice League plus the Avengers versus, I don't know, like
just have a superhero smackdown
versus like all the evil, all the big bads. Wow, that's a popcorn flick that would probably need to be 4 hours with an intermission built in. You guys, let's go ahead and also talk about. Oh, so yes, look forward to the channel sometime tomorrow evening for our trailer reaction to Snake Eyes. And before we go on to our main topics, let's go ahead and talk about. I've been dying to talk about this. We saw this last night before we went to bed, and we thought, huh, we really should talk about it on tomorrow's show. So, a Cheez-It Cake. Would you eat it? Is it real? It is in fact very real. I pulled up a photo. It's gonna show up right here in the middle of Dustin and I. So you guys, that is the Cheez-It Cake. So this is created by celebrity chef and Sugar Goat Bakery founder Stephanie Izard, I believe is how you say her last name. And it has the batter that's incorporated with actual Cheez-It flour, which is like
Ground up
Cheez-Its,
Cheez-Its?
I guess. And then once it's baked, it's layered with Cheez-It shortbread crumble. I don't know how I guess they're using the flour to make some shortbread with a Cheez-It flavor, slightly hinted cheesy shortbread. It also has caramel swirls for a little bit of sweetness. It has red strawberry flavored icing and chocolate coated Cheez-It crackers on the top for good measure.
A lot of that sounds really good.
Does it?
But once you add the Cheez-It part in there, that's when I'm a little like, okay, like the strawberry the strawberry stuff that you were talking about, the salted caramel kind of thing sounds pretty good. But then I'm like, but then that with Cheez-It. So I'm kind of like,
I love Cheez-It. I
true.
love cake. I don't know if I want the two together. If you offered me a chocolate covered Cheez-It cracker, would I eat it? I'd try it at least once.
Yeah.
I definitely would try it. So I guess, yeah, would I try like one bite? Maybe, sure, but it's the thought of a Cheez-It flour, and I don't think that's how the cake is gonna look. I think that there is another depiction. It's better if you go to the sugar. Oh, actually, go to goodbelly.com. That's where you can order the
Oh
cake.
yeah.
So the cake's gonna be available to order. Hashtag not sponsored. May 17th. And it's weird because the article that I looked at, which is the Pop Sugar article, has it listed for $49. But then when I went on the Good Belly website, is it the Good Belly or is it Gold Belly?
I think you
Sorry,
said,
Gold Belly.
oh, Gold
On the
Belly.
Gold Belly website, it's listed for $99. So I don't know which one is correct, but this is to celebrate Cheez-Its 100-year anniversary, which I think is pretty insane, pretty crazy.
Cheez-Its have been around for 100 years.
I mean, we have some Cheez-Its in the pantry. In fact, like we love Cheez-It. I don't know how I feel about it being blended in a cake.
You know me, I'll try anything once, as long as you can guarantee me that it won't kill me or make me seriously ill.
Yeah,
I'll try anything at least once, and who knows?
Majority of the chat would say, "Yep."
Oh,
Majority of the chat. I think I'm
thought
kind of
there'd be a
standing
little bit
along
more
with
hesitation.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Jim. Like, nope. Jack says, "Yep, I would eat it." Blade says, "I would give it a shot." Debbie says, "Hell yes, I eat that." Stardew says, "I would want a cinnamon toast taste in this cake." Definitely, it sounds really cheesy, and I like what Blade is saying here. Blade says, "You always got to at least try something before you say, oh hell yeah,' or nope, never again."
Yep. Nope, that's actually
What do you know? If we ever get to try a slice, and we're like, oh my gosh.
There's a lot of things out there
Yeah.
that, at first you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds disgusting. Like, honestly, I thought that the idea of garlic ice cream would be disgusting. But then I went to the Stinking Rose in Los Angeles, and it's amazing.
For those
it
of
is
you
absolutely delicious.
For those of you who may not heard of the Stinking Rose, because I don't know how many of that restaurant exist, I know there's two in the state of California, I believe, one in LA, like West Hollywood, I think, and one in San Francisco. I want to say it was San Diego. I want to say it's San Francisco. And the entire restaurant, first of all, food is delicious. Secondly, everything has garlic in it. So if you're allergic to garlic, do not go to the Stinking Rose. You're gonna have a bad time. But if you love garlic and you don't have any sort of allergic reaction to it, their food is so good. Typically, you and I, we've only gone twice, but both times we went. Once to celebrate your birthday, once to celebrate, I think it was your dad's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like twice in 1 year next to each other because your birthday's in May and your dad's birthday's in June. So it was like back to back. Your dad heard about our experience. He's like, I want to go. I love garlic. And we got the filet mignon, and that's like
And
infused
like the
with
prime
garlic and the
rib.
prime rib. It's delicious. They have these like super roasted or whatever you want to call it. It's a garlic dip that you dip your bread into, and it's like
It's like smushable
yeah,
and
you can
spread
and
it. It's like
spreadable.
garlic butter just spreading on
Like
there.
if I bet you could have bought that. We should have bought some.
Yeah.
Ugh, missed opportunity. But they also have it's called the 40 clove garlic, where they stuff 40 cloves of garlic into the chicken and they roast it for an amount of time. But for dessert, because all the food's really good, but for dessert they have a garlic ice cream and you're like, ew. But we had to try it. I mean, we were there. We were gonna smell like garlic for days anyways. So we didn't see people for like a week after that. Because you sweat and it doesn't
You
smell
smell
good.
very garlicky.
Doesn't smell good. But we tried the garlic ice cream, and dang, it's really good. You definitely get afterwards. You're like, garlic taste. And they gave you peppermint and all that stuff, like a lot of it
Oh yeah.
after the fact. And it's like a lot of severe brushing teeth and flossing just to get rid of the rinsing, Listerine, and all that stuff. But it was delicious. So, with that said, having tried garlic ice cream, I guess it would be unfair if we're like, no way, a Cheez-It Cake, blah. Oh, sorry, guys.
Exactly. So don't knock anything until you've tried it.
Don't
Who
knock it
knows?
till you try it.
I would love if anyone does get it. Please put it down in the comment sections below and tell me if you're like, oh my gosh,
The Cheez-It
this
Cake.
blew my mind. If you have tried the Cheez-It Cake,
But they haven't
please
been
let
able
it
to
know.
try it because it's not.
Well, I know, but I'm saying later on because it comes out on the 17th.
Ah,
Please put it down in the comment section below. Come back to this video and just be like, oh my gosh, it was amazing, or I want my money back. It was so bad, kind of a thing.
it was terrible. And like fans of cheeses are like lining up for this.
Mm-hmm.
We got, before we move on to our main topics today, we have another super chat from Chris.
Thank you,
Mendez.
Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Chris writes, the Hollywood Reporter has confirmed that Wendy will be the stunt double for Lucy Liu in the upcoming Shazam Fury, the Gods movie. Oh God, I love you, Chris. I will say, not confirmed, not true. Did not audition for the movie. Would I love to do it? Yes. I don't know if I am about her height or if our statures are similar. I want to say we're similar in height, but I want to say she's slightly taller than me. She is the one celebrity that I have not yet seen or met in person. So I don't know.
How would you act if you ever met Lucy Liu? I mean, I know how you would act if you met
internal
like
monologue of like, don't freak out, just act normal and just shake her hand and say a polite, I enjoy your work, and walk away. Don't ask for a photo, just walk away. Don't embarrass yourself. I think that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I don't want to pull like the whole Nathan Fillion thing again. That was straight up embarrassing.
And what's your name?
Her name is Wendy.
You know what?
You know, I told Alan Tudyk that story.
Oh, really?
I told him that story because he was standing behind me. So here's like a weird celebrity story. It was a Star Wars movie. Nope, it can't have been a Star Wars movie because then he wouldn't be behind me in line because he would have been on the press carpet.
Oh,
so it was probably for a Disney film, a Marvel film in that genre. I honestly cannot remember, but I had seen him and I kept on like turning around to look at him and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Alan Tudyk. I've been like obsessed with you since Firefly. Act normal, act normal. Remember your Nathan Fillion story. Don't be a fool. His lovely wife noticed and she was like, would you like a picture with him? And I'm like, oh my gosh, is that okay? And he's like, oh my God, yeah, nicest guy ever. She took a photo and I went and told him the story about Nathan Fillion. He goes, did you really? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, wow. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Work that into your script for the show that you're working on. I don't know. Hire me to play myself.
Man.
But yeah, right. But that was it was a very nice meeting. I have the picture somewhere, I think.
Oh, with you and Alan Tudyk?
Yeah, I think so. And she snapped so many photos.
She's probably used to it, just going click.
Yeah,
click.
Honestly, like I'm so happy that she kind of I'll put it on Discord later. I don't want to take up our show just looking for a photo. But Chris, thank you so much. That would be really cool if, eventually one day before these bones get too old, kind of double, even if it's just
You're
a
always going to be
stand-in.
eternally young, my love.
I'm always going to feel like I'm 12. That's what we're saying.
Or at least mentally.
Let's go ahead and move on to our next did I miss anything?
Our next main topic of the day.
I didn't put this in there, so I guess I'll just put that title up. But you guys, and I'm so excited for this because for Dustin, we have Masters of the Universe Revelation coming to Netflix July 23rd, and this series is actually going to be split into 2 parts. 5 episodes, part 1 premiering on Netflix this July 23rd. Again, is the date, and it has a very stacked voice cast. We've got, of course, Mark Hamill,
As
Hamill
Skeletor.
himself,
Mm-hmm.
as Skeletor. We have Lena Headey or Hetty. Never say it right, so I just say it twice, incorrectly, probably both times. As Evelyn, is that how
Mm-hmm.
you say it?
Evelyn.
Evelyn. We have Sarah Michelle Gellar as Tila. We have Alicia Silverstone as Queen Marlena. We have Kevin Conroy, whoa, as Merman, and the original voice actor of Skeletor, Alan Oppenheimer, but now he is going to be voicing Mossman. Very
That's
interesting that they're kind of changing the role for that. Like, I wonder how he feels about, like, I voice Skeletor all this time.
Well, you're not going to get Skeletor. We're going to give
because we
that to
got
Mark
Hamill.
Hamill, but we'll give you Mossman. And
as long as there's an understanding and he's happy with it, then like maybe he didn't want to do Skeletor anymore because he's done that.
Yeah,
maybe as a
that's
voice
very
actor
possible.
he wanted to take on something different. We don't know. That's just like our theory. But so this is going to be a sequel series, but the mythos is still kind of intact. So it is still going to be about Prince Adam ruling the realm of Eternia, and the Sword of Power, and that turns him into He-Man. And then let's see, and this is the Kevin Smith series.
Oh yeah, Kevin Smith has been the frontliner for this He-Man, either live action, animated. He's been trying to get this off the ground for so long. And these images are amazing. This just makes me super excited. I love the way it looks. I think it's by the same company too that did Castlevania.
I mean, I love it. I love that it's not so, man, look how massive He-Man is. Holy crap.
Yeah, him and Skeletor.
Yeah, they're like big beefy dudes. I like that it's not so far reimagined that it doesn't look anything like the original.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a nice updated look and it still works in the realm of animation.
I think it's going to be interesting, because honestly, the name He-Man doesn't transition to probably a new audience, to a new generation very well, but there's such a huge following behind it, I had a ton of the toys for He-Man, and just so many. Like, I remember having the He-Man that if you put like the caps in the back and you'd wind them up and you go pow. It had the Skeletor one, the He-Man one, and so many of the other toys. Even the skunk one that came with like the stinky smelling liquid that you would actually put into like the fur. And my mom really regretted giving me that one.
Oh, why?
Because it smelled terrible.
Oh no.
But yeah, my mom used to get me the He-Man toys all the time to kind of, I was a little bit of a rambunctious child in certain occasions. So anytime I went to the doctor's office, I had to get a shot or had to.
You brought the stink toy with you?
No. She would say, if you don't make a fuss and you get your shot, I will buy you a toy afterwards.
Is this all the time?
That was the deal. Because after one or two doctor's appointment, as me as a little kid, she was like, okay, I don't know how to make him not squirmy and actually focus. So that if you behaved, then I got a reward.
Well, that did not happen in my family at all.
If I did misbehave, then I got in big trouble. Kind of.
Okay, so they were still.
They were still.
I'm not
punishment.
saying you needed to have like. I'm not saying kids need a punishment in order like that's. But
back in the 80s,
back in like my days, there was no thinking about misbehaving at a doctor's office. I had maybe one chance if it was a brand new experience for me because I didn't know any better. But once mom or dad said no, then that was the final answer. No was the final answer. You don't get to ask again because you get a little.
I went to a lot of doctor's appointments though, because
I did too. I was a sickly child.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. But yeah,
sick all the time.
So, it was a little bit of a thing for my mom to be kind of like, I'm sorry that we have to go to all of these, but if you behave, here's a little bit of a I'm sorry kind of response. Sorry, to make me also feel a little bit better because I went in to get tests done. And I remember the one time they had to they put like I think it's called an EKG or something. Oh yeah,
the little sticker things.
And I thought they were going to electrocute me.
Oh my, did they not explain to you they're just stickers? You're not going to feel anything?
Yeah, but I was like, what, 5, 6 years old
Here,
at the time?
It's going to be okay. And then it hooked up to all this machine.
And I'm just freaking out. But I I'm glad to see that they are trying to get He-Man again off the ground. I loved the movie with what Ivan Drago from
Ivan Drago from Rocky?
yeah, that he's the one who did Masters of the Universe.
Oh, wait. Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I have to admit, it didn't do very well in the theaters, but I thought that movie was awesome. I still own that movie, and I still every now and again go like, let's put in Masters of the Universe and see. I think that came out in the 90s. And
Wow.
it was one of those movies that I was like, this is a pretty well done for that time period, Masters of the Universe, in my humble opinion.
I feel like I didn't collect any He-Man toys. I watched the cartoon, but it was in English. So
Dolph
I
Lundgren, 1987.
oh my
Thank
gosh,
you.
there it is.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Star Drew. So I don't remember much of like playing with He-Man toys, but like Blade is he's saying here that he's had a lot of Transformers toys. For me, it was, believe it or not, GI Joe.
Oh,
Well,
really?
because like I had a lot of boy cousins growing up, right? So when we go play, they wouldn't play Barbie and whatever girlier toys. It would just be like cars and trains, dinosaurs, and like GI Joe. We were obsessed for some reason back then with RoboCop. So
Mm-hmm.
we had like the RoboCop stuff. I don't think we had any Transformers, but it was a lot of dinosaurs, GI Joe, and RoboCop, and that was a lot of fun. Naturally, I didn't get to take any of those home because they weren't mine, but it was a good time back then. And like, what do you do with all those toys now? Do you keep passing them down as the paint and everything's chipped off of their action figures, arms missing because you've like clashed against each other way too long? I don't know, but the new Master of the Universe Revelation, the sequel series, looks really good. I actually can't wait to see what it's going to be, and it makes me. When I see He-Man, it makes me think about She-Ra, and it makes
Mm-hmm.
me sad
Oh,
that they ended with season 5. And like, are they going to give us? When I know season 5, it's actually a lot of seasons,
yeah.
but I honestly would love to have seen that story continue, or maybe give it to us in like one big She-Ra movie. I think that'd be really cool too. So still holding out hope for that. And with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is the Bad Batch.
Yep, that's right. The Bad Batch just came out. Episode 3 came out just a few days ago. So was that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yesterday, huh? It
Mm-hmm.
came out just yesterday. So we are going to be talking about spoilers. So if you have not seen it yet, this is your warning right now to please come back to this video later on and hear our chats about the Bad Batch. Thank you for the chat for not putting any spoilers, even though we forgot to tell you.
Yeah, we
No,
forgot to say, but
that just shows how awesome you guys
they're
naturally.
very attentive and they're very considerate for all the other people who have not had a chance to catch up with the Bad Batch episode 3. So we're gonna go ahead and dive in to talk about it. If you haven't watched if you're not caught up to the latest episode, we would suggest that you come back to this segment later on after you've caught up with the episode. And all the episodes right now are just under the half-hour mark. So it's pretty digestible. It goes by pretty quick if you want to go ahead and do a binge fest of episodes 2 and 3 together, because
Yeah.
that's like just 1 hour. And then, but if you want to tack on episode 1, then you might have to, kind of schedule out like a 2 hour, 2.5 hour block to finish the whole thing. But the Bad Batch episode 3, entitled Replacement, now we see the remaining members of the Bad Batch plus Omega continuing their journey away from Camino,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out exactly what it is. So now it's bringing up into conversation about what Tech and what Tech and Omega already knew about the inhibitor chip. Well, and they're kind of like, oh, I found that conversation really interesting. They're like, Echo, if you knew, why didn't you tell us? And he, in his brilliant mind, is thinking, well, I just
Well,
thought you guys knew. It's common sense.
how else would you have? Well, how else would you do something like this? You need a chip in the brain in order
Yes.
to control someone. So therefore, the way that they're controlling the clones is with a chip.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved his response. I was like, I just thought it was quite obvious.
I love that very earnest answer. He's kind of like, well, I don't know. I didn't say it because I didn't feel like it needed to be said. I just thought it was
Mhm.
common knowledge. It's too smart for his own good. But the Bad Batch with Omega crashes on this island. I don't think it was ever identified
Yeah, I
as
don't think
any
they
sort of
identified which
island.
planet it was.
But they did have like a dragon lizard creature whose name I forgot to write down. But we got to see for the Bad Batch and Omega, how they handle themselves in the situation. And I think it's continuing. They're using these first initial episodes to build that connection and relationship between the members of the Bad Batch and Omega. So in the previous episode, we already saw Hunter kind of taking on that fatherly figure of like learning how to talk to Omega, not as a soldier, but as a child, as Cut and
Mm-hmm.
Sue were trying to teach him to do. And Omega really feeling that connection with the group, and had a chance to leave with Cut and Sue and their kids, and decided to not. So they're now agreeing to stick together. And we also saw Wrecker having a little bit of that realization of like, oh wait, like we can't just operate the way we always used to, and this and that.
Now we got a kid with
Now we
us.
got a kid with us, and so the rations, I can't just eat them all. I can't say things a certain way. I'm gonna scare the kid. So I thought that was nice couple of little moments for the Bad Batch, specifically for Wrecker and Hunter, and probably more to come for Tech and Echo.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that really tight knit group as they start to build it. And then is that coming off of her?
No, I think what happens is the last couple of days I put a lot of hand sanitizer on, so my skin's starting to peel a little bit, and I just
Ooh.
noticed it because I'm petting Navi, and I'm like, "What is all of this?" And I'm
I
like,
thought
"Oh,
Navi's
it's
fur
me."
was coming off because it was all I saw was white on your hand. I'm like, that's alarming. Everybody's okay.
Sorry.
We also see on the Empire side of things, back in Camino, we have Tarkin is back, and
Mm-hmm.
I think Admiral
Rampart. Yeah.
Rampart, talking about obviously the clone initiative, or the program, what they're going to do with it. Tarkin obviously wants to, do away with the whole program. The scientists and the prime minister on Camino are saying, well, we gotta continue to prove ourselves to be
A viable
useful.
option. Yeah.
Yeah, so like we can't just let them eradicate the clones project altogether. But what they're doing now is they put Crosshair under some sort of like more tests, and with the inhibitor chip, and they've kind of like did a little tweaking to it, and now they're using Crosshair to train these human soldiers that are enlisting on their own will, not just a clone that's programmed to do so, and seeing
Mm-hmm.
how that worked. And one of the tests was sending them back on Onderon to take down, to one, find Saul, or just to take down and basically murder all of his followers.
I have to admit that was a little surprising too, because we've seen some brutal things like in the Clone Wars, and I think a
That's the name of the
little.
dragon.
Ah.
Thank you so much, Jaden.
um and to see how, I mean, but this was a straight up massacre to where they just took people who were obviously innocent and we don't care and just wiped them out, kind of a thing. And I was like, wow, that is execution style, very brutal for a kids cartoon show, kind of a thing.
Yeah, really. They straight up, as the pilot was making the getaway, Crosshair sniped the guy
Mm-hmm.
like center mass in the chest. I was like, whoa. Because we all know typical Star Wars is technically made for kids.
Yeah.
That's how Clone Wars, started as very, very young, a little bit lighter. And as the series grew and its audience grew, they, ventured towards the darker theme in various episodes. But this is episode 3 of the Bad Batch, and the subject matter for this was really dark. I do like seeing that. As an adult, I'm okay with it, and kind of seeing what lengths the Empire will go.
Yeah.
And that's I like kind of seeing that side of things.
And I've seen in the chat and also in our Discord earlier some of the theories about what they think is going to happen with this group. And I like the theories. I think, who's said it in the chat? The birth of the Dark Trooper.
I think it was Star Drew. Star Drew says born of the Dark Troopers.
That this is going to be the start of the Dark Trooper or the Death Troopers that we saw. I think it was in Rogue One, kind of a thing. So that this is how they start off, is that they're being trained by Crosshair. So I think that would be a good evolution, to see where these troopers came from and to see how is it that they went from all of these clones to 100% stormtroopers, or at least as far as we know, all of them are recruited soldiers. But I guess since they all have helmets on, some of them could be clones. Some of the higher ups that are training all of these stormtroopers, they could very well be clones or modified clones, kind of like Crosshair. So there is some viable option to keep some of these clones around, but just not on the massive scale that they were using before.
What's scary is with Crosshair, and he said it over and over in episode 2, and as well we said it one time in episode 3, is good soldiers follow orders.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Empire wants, these kind of, troopers that will, and soldiers that will carry out orders. There's no humanity, in them. And you kind of, I feel like we kind of saw that in the sequel trilogy with Finn, when they were ordered to kill all the villagers and Finn didn't shoot his blaster, and
Hmm.
then he was found out. And how do we, from this, is that the point that we got to with
Yeah.
what they wanted to do? Was that achieved? Or, well, obviously it wasn't achieved
Well, and that
because
would be
Finn
a
deserted.
that would
So
be a downside of having a recruitment army, is that sometimes they're not going to follow orders. Sometimes there's going to be that moral code inside of them that's going to go, I'm not going to be your executioner.
correct.
I'm not going to be your murderer
Hmm.
for the empire, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm curious on how they're going to evolve this. It seems like they're taking a very kind of slow progression on telling this story, because this episode really did focus more on Omega and Hunter, because
Yes.
they're the ones who went out by themselves, even though I think it would have made more sense for Hunter to take Wrecker,
But Wrecker had the headache.
but Wrecker had the headache. And I'm hoping, because Jack had a great theory that I'm kind of like, I hope it's that. I really hope that they go off in this direction, that Wrecker's inhibitor chip is starting to kick in. So when he bumped his head, that kind of jostled the inhibitor chip, and now he's starting to try and fight these urges to follow orders of killing all of them, or trying to get back to Camino, or that there's something going on, and that would give them, especially Tech and Echo, the chance to be able to study it and go,
Yeah.
oh, this is what's going on. This is how it works. Because Tech was working on that scanner for their brain. However, I'm a little scared that they're just going to drop it. And it was just Wrecker's head hurting was just a ploy to have Hunter and Omega go out on their own.
So he can have the time to make Omega like her own little bedroom space, which I thought was really cute. But I feel like that would, I don't know, maybe a missed opportunity to explore the inhibitor chip a little bit more, to know that it's not maybe just affecting one of them, that it could eventually affect all of them. They don't know. And that's what the variable is very big for that. And that will prompt them to maybe want to catch up with Rex, knowing that Rex wasn't
Yeah.
affected. And maybe that's, I don't know, but I felt that it was kind of like, because he played it up like, oh, my head really hurts, oh, it hurts real bad, and then like nothing after that. So I
Yeah.
wonder if they'll bring it back in episode 4 or not. We will see. Sean Banks asking, do you think Crosshair has doubts sometimes? We actually said we're talking about that.
Mhm.
I think I left it out of the reaction, but I feel like in the very back of his mind, he may be, maybe not doubts, but a lot of confusion of, why am I thinking this way? And
Mhm.
he obviously misses his friends when he led his new team members back into their barracks, and they're all kind of sitting down in other
And
people's
taking
bunks.
their spots.
Right. And that's got to be a huge point of confusion for him, like what happened there, and why are we all of a sudden so different, and they're not following orders. And he probably misses them because they've been together for a long time, but then his inhibitor chip is probably overpowering the rest of his thought process.
Honestly, I think that is something that's very important to this, is how is Crosshairs handling this mentally? And they're giving hints.
Yeah.
On that, the fact that he's like, no, I must follow orders, kind of a thing. But when he sat down, there's that process going on, going, there's something not right. Why am I doing this when I feel this way? Or why are these two things conflicting in my mind, kind of a thing? So I'm really curious for them to evolve that and for them to tell us more. But fortunately, we still got 13 more episodes.
We got a lot more episodes to come. Jaden's saying there's a reason why they check his chip repeatedly.
Yeah.
I think Tarkin's like, put him, do another test. And he's a soldier. He's going to follow orders. So he's not going to complain about any of that. But what's another interesting thing that we saw in this episode was the the conversation between the two Camino, the scientist, and the prime minister,
Yeah.
about not only continuing to provide a source for the empire for them to be of use so they can continue to fund and have money, but to also, what's the exact wording that they used to they talked about Jango Fett's DNA degrading.
Yes.
And that was a really important bit where they were kind of like, now we gotta, come with something better. And maybe now it's time to really look and study and create a superior clone. And they were talking something about like needing an actual source, like an actual direct sample. Is that sample Omega? Could it be linked to Grogu? And that's why we saw why they were tracking down Grogu. Still in the
Mhm.
Mandalorian, we are not sure. So a superior clone is what Jaden is saying. Thank you so much. So that's interesting. So is it force sensitive,
Uh-huh.
or is it superior just because they have, I don't know, higher senses, better shots? That's one of the
Somehow
upgrades I would definitely put in a stormtrooper. Better
some kind of
shots.
mutation that either makes them stronger, faster, smarter, or better.
Higher, further, faster.
Yeah.
Sorry. Unrelated.
But and also, yeah, what do they mean by a superior clone? So I'm
Right.
really curious on what direction they're going to take it and if it's going to tie into the Mandalorian. Thinking about this now, I think it would have been really cool that in the Mandalorian, the scientist that kind of let Grogu go would have been a Kaminoan or a
Ooh.
Kaminoan
Resident?
I think
A resident of
someone
Camino?
who came from Kamino.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Jack is asking, Omega is too innocent at the moment, but do you think she has a bigger part to play? Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
absolutely.
She just has no idea that she's got a bigger part.
Or what she's really capable of.
Right.
We don't even know that yet. So far,
She doesn't look like the rest of the clones.
Mm-mm.
Her hair is blonde, it looks like, and I don't think that's the coloring of the Jango Fett DNA. It's
I'm
darker.
but
The hair's darker.
her features do really remind me of an actual Mandalorian. You know, someone who is from Mandalore. They seem to be lighter hair, thinner, whiter,
Really?
paler skin
Hmm.
for natural born Mandalorians. So I'm curious if they actually found a real Mandalorian's DNA and started to do some genetic testing with it so that when that new clone sees something done for the first time, like shooting a blaster
Yeah.
or tracking something,
Mhm.
they can see it and immediately copy it. So all you have to do is train them once and they're ready to go out with the elites.
That's crazy. Another cool thing that we got to see in this episode is obviously the four recruits that they brought in and they sent on a task onto Alderaan. Onderon. I said Alderaan. I was like, pretty sure that's destroyed. Wait, the Bad Batch. Has Alderaan been destroyed yet?
No,
not
that
yet.
doesn't happen
Just
until A
kidding.
New Hope.
But they're on Onderon, not Alderaan. So either way, my point is moot. But we got to see the four members. Well, it was five, and I think now, or no, there was four, and now there are three. I don't remember. Somebody didn't make it in the mission because they didn't follow orders.
Oh yeah, that's right. And yeah, Crosshairs
And
was
Crosshair was like,
you're
well,
not going
then
to follow
you're
orders, fine.
that, which is crazy. But we had a reaction as seeing these four soldiers, and we went, oh! And in the comment section of that video, people are saying like, who is it that you guys think she is? We both thought that maybe it was Fennec Shand because we've seen her in like the teaser trailer and in some of the photos. But upon rewatching those moments, I'm thinking it's actually not her. I just don't think the features and I think the eye colors, I don't know if it matches up, but she specifically did not speak. She didn't have any lines. So
and they
she
did
could
not
be, or
introduce them either.
Yeah.
I think they made a deliberate point to not introduce them, not say their names, so that
I just don't think it's her.
Could be Fennec.
At this point, I don't think it is. And then a couple of other comments in the reaction video were asking if we thought that she was, oh, who does Janina play in the Star Wars video game?
I think Blade actually.
Iden, yes, Iden Versio. That's how you say it. But then somebody else said that the timeline of where this takes place and of Iden, Iden, then she would be too young.
Oh,
but it kind of does look like her though, does it?
It does.
Not?
Honestly, I thought
so.
That
it could
too.
be that too. Technically, we don't know. If she comes back in the next episode, then we guess we'll see if she gets a speaking voice and a credit, and it says Mina Wen. Then we'll know, which will be pretty cool. But at this point, looking at the animation, I don't think it's Fennec. I don't think it's panic.
Stardew had a theory, but I think when I started to think about it a little bit more, it doesn't quite line up. But Sabine's mom and dad, Sabine's mom or Sabine's dad. But if I'm not mistaken, she comes from a lineage of
Of the
Mandalorians.
rulers too. So I
Yeah.
don't think that would
So I don't
play
think they're
out.
hooked up with the
That would
Empire.
be interesting though.
But I now I'm like, oh, were they? I don't think so. But I want to go check it out.
Yeah. Jack says Iden's story is after Death Star's destruction.
Okay, so yeah, that takes place after
Rogue
Return
One.
of the no after oh yeah
Rogue One.
I think that's even after after A New Hope. Okay, after
Before
the first
A New Hope.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Before A New, sorry, I was wrong. Before, man, the timelines are so. Why is it so screwy in our heads right now? It's not like we haven't been watching these kind of movies for years.
Well, it's because the first one happened here, the prequels
We need a
happened here,
roadmap.
then we have cartoons all throughout here and cartoons all throughout here.
Plus the
Then we have the
Mandalorian.
sequels, then we have the Mandalorian, and then it's the fact that they're jumping around in all of these timelines.
Ooh.
Is a little mind-boggling sometimes. But yeah, then it's like, oh no, wait. You can focus on where does it take place in reference to the original Star Wars trilogy.
Blade says, for Iden, she is like in her late 20s, so she could be a teen recruit at this moment. All she needs to be is like, well, I don't know if it's like Star Wars universe has an age to recruit.
Oh yeah,
like like in the world we live in is 18, but it could be younger. It could be like whenever you wanna be a recruit, then you can join, and they just like maybe you're too young to be in the field, but you can start as doing other things. We don't know, which is crazy. So I can't wait to see what is in store for us for the next episode of the Bad Batch, the series. These first few episodes are moving a little bit slower than I would have liked to. I think I wanted to have it start to ramp up already, and I keep having to remind myself, like, we got to build the relationship, we got to build the Bad Batch and their kind of origin, and show us more of them so we can feel attached before we ramp it up into playing into potentially losing a member or two here, or putting them in danger, so we can feel the connection. But I feel like I'm pretty connected to the Bad Batch already. Like, I'm tuning into their show. I like them when we saw them in Clone Wars season 7.
And that's also true about a lot of the Clone Wars cartoons. There are a lot of episodes in there that are builders, that are there to kind of get you to a certain point. We saw that a lot in actually season 7. Of the Clone Wars, but it does pay off. So all of these things that we have qualms with right now is that we're hoping that this is building material. And the reason why it's just the fact that we haven't quite seen where this is going yet to be able to be like, to get too excited about it.
Exactly. Well, you guys, I think that's the end of our spoiler discussion for the Bad Batch and today's live stream. We want to thank all of you so much for hanging out with us today. It was a great time. Don't forget to join us again on Wednesday as we do another live stream. And then for anybody who has a Twitch account or just wants to hang out with me on Twitch tomorrow, I'll be there, twitch.tv/WhatDeeklyZany, playing some more Paper Mario. I think Blade and Sean and Stardew and Jim was there, and a couple other people were hanging out with me yesterday in the stream. It was a good time. So tomorrow, probably the same thing. We're going to do some Paper Mario on Twitch. We're going to play some Famicom Detective Club, playing a detective who has amnesia. So that's really interesting. So you guys, we will catch you on Wednesday right here at 2 p.m. PT for more nerdy news talk. Take care of yourselves. We love you. If you guys get to try the Cheez-It Cake, report back. Let us know what you think. We're probably going to look for reviews. I bet you we can find, after the 17th. Well, you can order it on the 17th, but you can't get it on, I don't think the delivery is that quick. So we probably have to wait. Maybe we can do like an update on next Saturday's stream to see what is what. And with that said, you guys, we're going to go ahead and leave you. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next time. Navi says bye. Don't forget to hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you real soon, okay?
Don't see yourself, Navi. There, you're right there.
Oh, bye. Oh my God, how cute.